All right, Sanj, new episode. Episode 5. We're in Hollywood. We're in LA on Sunset.
Yeah.
We're here.
Yeah.
Are you happy right now? You're okay? We decided to do a vacation, but now it turned into a whole bunch of business deals.
Well, you have staycations. You have vacations. What's a workcation? Is it just called a workcation?
Well, you can't. The problem with you is we go somewhere. You just can't stop.
I don't switch off.
Yeah, and that's the problem that I have.
Yeah.
And it's always me talking and you trying to,
There's always someone's texting me, or an alarm's going off on one of my properties,
Something's happening.
something is always happening.
Yeah.
And I have to be available.
But let's cut to the chase.
Yeah.
Episode 5 is here.
Yeah.
New track, Old School's out.
Yes.
The response that you got.
It's been really good. Surprisingly good, actually. And here's the funny thing. The song is called Old School, right? And so the whole point of it was a love letter from me to the fans that loved my old sound before I left, which really going back like 12, 13 years. So I've got my own old school sound. And that's why I called the song Old School. And then everyone's like, this is what we wanted. We love it. Good to have you back, all that kind of stuff.
What's your favorite comment so far?
The favorite ones are like the ones that are the people that are like kind of hating because they're going like, yo, it sounds the same as his old stuff. I'm like, well, that was the whole point. Like,
right.
It's called Old School.
Right.
Because today, for example, we're dropping #WTF, which is this trap grime record that I'm doing, which is basically a love letter to all the posers, haters, keyboard warriors. So it's dedicated to you guys, right?
Too many love letters.
And so it's like, what the fuck, right? Like, you guys think you're all big and bad typing and doing all this bullshit. And it's like, look, I made a track just for you guys, right? There's no tumbi in it. There's no dol in it. It is pure, bass, kick, snare. And the rappers, GSP and Samuel, are sick on it. And it's something that people will not be expecting from me. But I wanted to start with Old School because I knew that was like, let's check that box. And, the fans that are, that have been following me, that want me to come back and they've been really supportive, I wanted to give them something first. And after that, then it was all about this new journey of the kind of like the grime, the drill, the trap, hip hop. Like, for example, now every 2 weeks I'll be dropping a record on my channel.
Yeah.
And I think people are going to be surprised at the variation of the kind of songs that we're going to do. Like, so we got the Bhangra record. Okay, done. August 15th. Is it August 15th? No. So we're July 1st was with the Bhangra record.
Right.
July 15th is WTF. Yeah. August 1st is a song called One Love featuring Roach Killer and Master Salim. And that's on the 1st. And then August 15th is we're finishing it off. It's going to be like an R&B Punjabi record.
Okay.
I'll announce who it is once I've got that song finalized. And then on September 1st, we have another record. September 15th is another record. I've got pretty much all the records set up up until February.
Well, let's not go that far yet.
Yeah, people's attention spans.
Yeah, because you're, everyone's attention span's not the greatest, right?
Yeah.
Let's bring it back to what we have right now, Old School.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the music video.
Yeah.
Now,
I told him make sure I look jacked in the video.
Yeah. So, one, I've never seen you have shoulders
that big. Yeah. Well, I'm working on it now.
Working on it. But two, I think a lot of people asked, are we ahead of the game when it comes to the music video?
Yeah. So that video is interesting. What we wanted to try, the company is called Stage Labs.
Shout out to Stage Labs.
So shout out to Stage Labs. Check them out. They're awesome. So what we're trying to do there is we're trying to set up this it's like another side business that we're trying to set up, which is basically creating AI content. So obviously this whole trend with AI, right? And so we wanted to see how far we could push the visuals. And it came out pretty good. Like,
who's the fearless leader that put this all together, the video?
Well, we got Cal.
Shout out to Cal. That's what I'm trying to get.
Right?
On,
Cal and Kylie.
Amazing.
Super talented duo. But we tried pushing it. So what we call Old School would be like a lyric plus video.
Yeah.
Right? And
it's a hybrid.
It's a hybrid, right? And I think we're about 6 months to a year away. We're messing around with some other concepts for some of the other songs we've got planned.
Yeah.
To really see if we can push it even further.
Yeah.
And we find it exciting because it's like you can do stuff like with the tractor and the flames coming out of the exhaust of the tractor. Like to redo that scene in real life, it just wouldn't be feasible.
Right.
And
I got a lot of DMs asking me who the girl was. What's the at?
The girl?
And I said at.
Oh, wait, listen, if you really like the girl, we'll set up her profile and you can have your own AI girlfriend.
Yeah. Like, if you want to do that, hey, that's extra.
I know we have a bunch of Desi guys going, yo, bro, give me your number
like,
or
maybe
give me your Instagram.
No word of lie. Maybe 5 or 6 were like, hey man, what's her at? I was like, what do you mean? Who?
Yeah.
Oh, the girl in the video. Bro, that's not real. He's like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not real, man.
Yeah, but it's crazy though, right? Like some of those shots, and then like Tank Randava's voice, he's been getting a lot of love.
Yeah.
Super talented.
Yeah.
And so here's the funny thing. We really pulled that track out last minute because the first single I wanted to launch with was WTF.
Yeah.
That was actually going to be July 1st.
I remember that.
But then we were like, nah, dude, you gotta drop a Bhangra
Wedding
song.
season.
Yeah, wedding season, Bhangra song. Everyone's asking for it. They're all expecting that from you. So we pulled it off so quick. That's when Tej came down to visit back in February. And he's like, yo, you need a Bhangra record. So then so Tank, he lives like outside Montreal, Ottawa, that area of Canada. And he's like, I can't get a hold of a studio.
Yeah.
I said, don't worry, dude. Just go record in your closet. So the vocals were recorded in his closet. I said, you just give it to me. I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it.
Where did you record the production in the washroom or?
No. The production was just done like in my office, right?
Okay.
Like,
okay.
But the thing is, like, it's changed so much now.
Yeah.
That the whole thing about having this massive recording studio with all this equipment,
it's not needed anymore.
Yeah, you just don't need it. You don't need it, especially at the scale we're doing it on.
Right.
Like, we don't need it. And I'm enjoying this whole. I'm just making music for my little corner of the globe, right? And so I think it's a lot of fun, and I'm excited about the stuff that we have coming out and all the interesting things we're trying to do, and I'm happy for the fan. I can't wait for the fans to see everything. It's gonna be awesome.
Well, the response that we're getting has been so positive with, the track,
and also we're wearing our Bring Bhangra Back T-shirts
with the track with the music video. I think from what I've seen is we're ahead of the game right now. One thing I've noticed about music videos that you do, no cars. You don't really do much cars. You don't really do any flash. You know what I mean? Like jewelry.
I always found I always find it funny. Like
explain that part.
Okay, so I watch all these videos, right? You got all these young kids. They're pulling out in Rolls Royces, Ferraris, Lamborghinis. I'm like, dude, one is you can't afford them, right?
Yeah.
Why are you flexing it? I think it's false advertising. Second, why are you trying to, floss like that? Whereas why don't you just floss by saying like, listen, I'm going to buy a few flats and rent them out, or I'm going to start a business and build that up. Like, I just find that whole thing about flossing and showing off it's so dated. Like, if you want to be ahead of the game, like that's all dated now. I think no one really cares because everyone's doing it. And it's like, I laugh at you. I said, listen, dude, like, look, if you can't even afford a $2 million house, you shouldn't be having a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Right? If you have a Lamborghini, you're living in a house that's less than $2 million, you're an idiot.
But who decides that when it comes to music videos? Like,
the artists have a say, but they're all excited. Like, let's go rent the Rolls Royce and show we're flossing, like we're gangsters. I'm like, come on, you ain't a gangster, man.
Right.
Like, let's be real. Right.
It's outdated, I guess. Now.
Yeah, man. Be a little bit, clever, right? Yeah. Like, so I like the videos. The music videos I like are the ones where like they're grimy, they're grungy, they're like real.
Yeah.
And so I'm really gravitating towards this whole UK grime and drill scene. And that's why I want to produce some of those artists. Like I've got some crazy artists that are up and coming that I'm really excited to showcase and grow my channel that way with this whole little collective of artists that are pushing boundaries. And the most commercial record that I'm going to put out is going to be Old School. After that, there's nothing commercial coming out, really. It's like, it's going to be progressively less and less commercial.
But what if the song, which I'm assuming it's going to go big.
Yeah.
The song is going to be popular, right? And what if people go, we want more? Then what are you gonna do?
That's good. Yeah. But be patient. Eventually, another one will come out.
Right.
But after I do what I want, what I feel like doing, and then when the time is right, and I find the right singer, I find the right song, and it's got to be interesting again. Like it was only interesting to do it like this because it's been over a decade since I did this sound. But like I wouldn't do this again because if I did this sound again, it would sound like, oh well, it's just like you can't please everybody. So that you got some people saying, oh, it just sounds like his old stuff. Well, it was supposed to. That's why it's called old school. But then you got some people that just love that sound and want more of it. But they only want more of it because it's been gone for over a decade. So I wouldn't do it again.
Do you even think that's a negativity though? Saying this sounds the same.
Yeah, but I'm coming back.
Are you looking at it as a negative? Or are you just looking at it as someone just goes, oh, okay. Like
no, it's a love letter to my fans.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Like all those hardcore Bhangra fans that love like songs like Jawab, Gato Kare, Dasja, and Nakre Mari, and all that Desi sound. That's for them.
Yeah.
Strictly that's for them, right? For me now, I want to do this whole other stuff that's like I find were like it's creatively more interesting for me.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see the response because I guarantee it's going to be polarizing response because everyone's used to me doing one thing and now they're going to get something else. And I'm looking forward to see how polarizing it is and see the response they get because that's the exciting part.
I think everyone's noticing my my shirt here with me flexing here. But where can we get these shirts from and where can people get them?
So
what's the deal that we're going to do?
Well, okay, so basically what we're going to do is they're called Bring Bhangra Back t-shirts because we want to bring back our roots and culture somewhat. And so they're basically, I designed them myself. B Coalition, who's been around, years, I think over 15 years, are a t-shirt brand. It's on their website. You check it out, buy them. They're for sale right now. And the other thing is the first 25 people, right, that start to share and tag me in a reel or a TikTok, I'll send them a free t-shirt.
What you need to do is you need to follow DJ Sanj.
Yeah.
Share it. Tag him.
Yeah, but you got to be dancing to old school. That's
correct.
The catch.
You got to be dancing to it.
Yeah.
And he will actually.
Yeah. I'll send you the t-shirt myself.
And
that's first 25 people.
Exactly. First 25, we'll give them to everyone. I want to go back to this AI business.
Yeah.
We had a big conversation when, we went for, dinner and all that. And I think the big thing is right now is Timbaland signed an AI artist. And people have a little bit of backlash. People have some issues. People are praising it.
Yeah.
Can AI replace human musicians?
So,
and then I do have another partner.
Yeah.
Which is more of the film side. But can AI replace human musicians?
Okay. On a technical level,
yeah.
Yes. But so you have to understand what's happening. Okay. Yeah. All the major labels are now buying up IPs and buying up catalogs, right? Like the Rolling Stones or Justin Bieber's catalog and all this on a large scale. The reason being is, and if you look at the apps like Apple Music and Spotify, which is primarily where everyone consumes their music, no one actually the whole thing about going to the record store, talking to the shop owner back in the day, and he would recommend this record or that record, that's all gone. Now what's being recommended to you is an algorithm is recommending something to you based on your tastes. So it's not even a person anymore. It's just like a computer program that's basically pitching you something. Yeah. And then you're going to listen to it. One is 9 times out of 10, you don't even know who the artist is. You don't care. It sounds good. You consume it, and then you move on to the next thing. And because of that, that's where I think platforms like Spotify and Apple Music, they already know that no one really cares. So they're thinking, okay, if we make our own music, we don't have to pay royalties.
Right.
And the labels are thinking the same thing. They're thinking, look, if we own all the IPs, we'll get someone who sounds like Drake, someone who sounds like Justin Bieber, someone that sounds like Rolling Stones, and just put it out, and people will just consume it as new music, and they won't care.
Yeah.
They're assuming no one will care. Now, I think there'll be a pushback at some point where people do care.
So my problem with that is, when you're mentioning artists, let's use Jay-Z for example, right?
Yeah.
Reasonable Doubt, right? Let's say you're telling AI you want Jay-Z Reasonable Doubt. I don't think when you get the artist, I don't think it can evolve the way a human can evolve with reasonable doubt. And then you
but those are old IPs, right?
But no. But what I'm just getting, for example, I think what AI is trying to do is just replicate that first, and how can we keep it the same that way? I don't think it could evolve.
But it's still new
and grow, right?
It's still new. It's going to get better. Like we're doing the music video.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, by the time we get to the 5th or 6th music video that we're planning to do, it's progressively better. Like if you look at the video Toronto that we did in April, this is miles better than what we did in that video, right? And now we're going to push it even further, right? So that's something we're developing behind the scenes, and it's fun to do because we can be. That's a whole creative process, even though it's AI, but it's a creative process for us. Music. Here's the problem with the music, right? Anyone who's a producer who's thinking about using apps like or platforms like Suno or all these ones that create songs or create like a guitar riff or whatever, right? Here's the trap you're going to fall into. You're going to think, oh, I'm going to subscribe. I own this. You don't own it. They're going to embed a watermark in all these sounds, right? And if any track blows up that you feel that you produced it and created on YouTube or TikTok or whatever, they will then claim that copyright and screw you over because you've actually used, they're going to say, oh no, you used our guitar or you used our synth or you used our vocal, right? Because it's all going to be watermarked.
Yeah.
And so the algorithms and the AIs are so clever that you won't get away with it. So basically, before, back in the day, you have sample clearance issues, right? So now that's kind of gone away. But now there'll be embedded watermarks in all the different things that all the pieces and elements you're being able to use. So I will tell, and this is something I follow, that all music producers, if you're creating music, stick to doing it the old way, stick to developing those sounds, and sample an old record or do all that stuff, right? The way we did it back in the day. But don't do it the new way that people are doing it, which is basically typing in a prompt, say, I need a guitar riff that does this, and then use it and think that you'll get away with it, because you won't. It's like a honey trap. This whole game now is being set up to do a massive honey trap, and it'll be the next phase of where the music industry goes and content creation goes.
Would you sign an AI artist? Would you try it?
No, I wouldn't sign any artist because I'm past that. Like for me, I'm an old IP, right? Like you type in DJ Sanj.
But would you try an AI artist? Is what I'm trying to get at.
No, but it's not real. It's like
of course.
But it's not geared for me. So you have to remember, like I'll tell you a story.
Experimenting wise, you wouldn't experiment.
I'll tell you a story, right? Yeah. So I've got a friend of mine, childhood friend.
Yeah.
He has 2 daughters, right? I think they're like 5 years old, 6 years old, right? And they go to my uncle and aunt's house in the basement, their grandparents, right? And they find one of those old phones, the rotary phone where you go, right? And they go, Daddy, what's this? What's this? And they go, it's a phone. And they look at it and they start turning it around upside down. They go, but where are the apps?
Yeah.
They don't look at a phone as a communication tool, like, hey, how you doing? Because they don't even like, no one even calls anybody anymore. They're texting, right? Yeah. So they look at it as a device that has apps on it, right? And so they don't even know anything different. We do, but we're not living in this world. We're living in their world.
Yeah.
Right? Like we've already had our like at 50 years old, like I'm living in their world now. I'm not living in my world. My world's like it's gone, right? Gone. Yeah. And so that's the thing. So AI music, the way that the system is going, they're just going to think that's normal. We don't think it's normal because we know a time before. Like I know a time when I used to go to the record store and buy a vinyl. Mm-hmm. They don't know that. They'll never experience that. That's all gone. They're going to experience, I'm going to go on Spotify, and they're going to look at music differently. They're going to think of music differently, and that's where it's going, whether you like it or don't like it. The only thing you can do is you can push back by how you consume the content, and at some point it comes down to dollars and cents. And as long as you make the choice that, look, I want to consume authentic, real people music, that actually a human being made. And even that becomes ambiguous because if you're typing a prompt and creating something, that person who's typing in the prompts thinks they made it. right? They think, oh, I'm creative. I did this. That's how their perception is. Just like the drum machine. I played drums on a drum machine, but a drummer would think, oh, no, you didn't make anything.
Right.
I'm a drummer. I'm hitting the actual drums.
But that's evolution of
That's
music,
the evolution.
right?
So that's where it's going, right? And like I said, we're living in their world.
Right.
So the way they communicate on WhatsApp and video calls and all this stuff, we know a time before all that.
Right.
So whether you like it or not, that's where it's going. I'm going to ride this journey and keep things authentic as I can, with authentic artists and interesting things that we want to do, mixed with AI. Like I'm not in denial about any of it, because I'm like, I love technology.
Yeah.
I'm like, look, for me, it's all the visuals. I want to do crazy visuals, and bring my music to life that way. So I'll use AI, because I'm not going to stick my head in the sand and think it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But I'm aware of where it's going.
So we're in LA for a reason. Let's talk about film here for a second.
Yeah.
AI film.
Yeah.
A lot of studios are, trying to use AI when it comes to extras, when it comes to just even writing. I think a lot of it. What are your thoughts when it comes to that entertainment side? Because we just talked about the music. Let's talk about...
it's going to go the same way. If you look at Warner Brothers and all these different...
Do you think it's going to crash? What do you think?
What's going to happen is all these big gatekeepers are all going to be gone, because everyone is going to have the power to create just on their phone or on their computer. Yeah. So essentially what's going to happen in the future is that you'll say, look, what do you feel like watching tonight, babe? Well, you know what? Let's watch an action movie. So you're going to type in a prompt saying, I want to watch an action movie that has Bruce Willis from Die Hard mixed with Jean-Claude Van Damme from Bloodsport, mixed in with, whoever the latest up-and-coming action star, which will probably be an AI person anyways. And it'll just make a movie for you. And I want the ending to be, surprise me with the ending, right? And so it'll just create a movie for you. I mean, I'm not saying this is going to happen in the next few years, but it might be 20 years out. But everyone will be creating their own content on the fly, which is like for me, when I think it's going to go that way, that's how I think it's going to go.
So I think it's going to get stopped. And the reason being is because I really don't think a lot of actors are going to sign on the dotted line saying, hey, you can take my face, put it in.
Money talks, bullshit walks, man.
But how much money are you actually getting?
Listen, you'd be surprised at what kind of money. Like, look, it's not even that. Let's say, for example,
how much would you?
I'll give you an example.
How much would you let go?
I'll give you an example.
Your rates?
You don't need any new actors, right? Because what you can do is you can say, well, listen, let's go to Marlon Brando's people and offer them money. They'll take it.
Yeah.
Right? He's dead, but let's bring him back to life with AI. Yeah, Marlon Brando back with
what if they lose the license?
Streetcar named Desire, right?
What if they lose the license for it? Then the Brando families. You lose it. Look at Prince's estate.
Those are like I would say anomalies, or like just a handful of outliers. Yeah. Majority of the people are going to take the cash and go.
How much would you sell your likeness?
Me?
Yeah.
Ooh.
What's the lowest you'd go? I don't want to say highest. Highest is too. What's the lowest you'd go?
To sell my likeness?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, for me, I look at money and all that very differently than most people.
So you'd sell it? Yes or no?
No, I don't know. I honestly don't know.
No, I'd sell it in a heartbeat.
Because the thing is, like, I don't know. Like, it's not going to happen at any time, like in the near future. Yeah. We're talking like at least a couple decades out before it transitions that way, and the world's very different. You got to remember, like, if I talk to my dad, right?
Yeah.
In his lifetime, he's like 80 plus, right? Yeah. Look at the advancement of just the TV, the advancement of the telephone. Back in his day, it was letters. Then there was the phone.
Yeah.
And then now you got a smartphone that does everything, right?
Right.
So what and the internet. And then now he's experiencing it, like AI. I showed him the AI video, and he was like, he was confused, going, which part's real, which part, like I don't get it. Like he's like, how come the guy's not dancing more? I said, well, it's not real, it's the AI, right?
Yeah.
And so that's happened in his lifetime. The changes that we're going to experience by the time we hit 80, 90 are going to be 3 times.
Right.
And so we can't even comprehend what the world's going to be like when we hit 90.
Basically like the parents. They can't really comprehend.
If you told a 30-year-old, my dad at 30 years old, that all this stuff is going to be happening, he'd be like, what? That's like Star Trek.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I always go back to my Star Trek analogies, but like, it's going to be like that. The way we communicate, like everyone's going to have their own AI personal assistant, their own therapist.
Yeah.
Because, I think mental health, because that's a big problem, I have a feeling universal basic income will come in. I have a feeling that down the road, a couple of decades, we're going to become more sociable again because everything will be done for you. The AI is going to do majority of your work, whether it's bots or drones or whatever, doing all your errands for you.
You think it's going to correct a lot of things? Is that what you're saying?
I think we're going to go through a phase where there's going to be a lot of distortion and a lot of change.
Yeah.
But then it's going to go into another phase where everyone's going to get all this time back. Because right now, no, everyone's like, I'm busy. I'm doing 2 side jobs, hustles. I'm trying to make ends meet, right?
Yeah.
All that's going to go away in 20 years.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, AI is just going to make everything so efficient, and all the daily mundane stuff is just going to be done for you. And then what's left to do is just hang out.
Yeah.
Like the apes did. What do the apes do in the jungle? They just hang out together.
Yeah.
That's all they do. So we're going to go back to doing stuff like that.
Yeah. I don't want to get in too deep with this, but I want to talk about what we talked about last night.
Yeah.
A little intoxicated, but we tried to talk business, but it turned into...
we're making fun of people? Was that
it just turned into a roast battle between us. But I want to talk about the power of the voice when it comes to certain topics, right?
Yeah.
I think this podcast has, I don't want to say we ruffled a lot of feathers. Let's put it that way.
Did I piss a lot of people off?
Well, I don't want to say piss. I think the way we have conversations,
a
lot of people always think, is this me? Are they talking about me? Are they talking about me? When realistically, we're not. But
no.
What I'm getting at is...
Well, if they feel that they're that important, knock yourself out.
Well, what I'm getting at is I think this podcast has done a lot of... made people talk and think. And I think it's...
Well, that was the whole point of doing it.
Yeah. But I mean, it's gone to a point where I think it's gotten bigger than we weren't thinking about.
Yeah,
right?
I realized I've upset some people.
Yeah.
That I didn't even think I was on the radar.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on stuff like that?
Good. Fuck them.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like end of the day, right? Like the whole point, like what I want to achieve with the podcast and with the music is a level of authenticity.
Yeah.
What you're getting is just me. There's nothing else. Like it, don't like it, I don't give a shit. Like if you go back now, so for example, now we're at episode 5, right? You go back to episode 1, I'm still the same person. And I was saying I didn't give a shit back then. I don't give a shit now.
Yeah.
Makes no difference to me. Like I don't care. Like I want people to know me for me now. I'm on this journey. But on the flip side though, I'm interacting with a lot of great people. I'm interacting with a lot of great talent. I'm excited for the things that we have planned and the journey that we're on. And those are all positive things. And then you got the negative parts of it as well, where like,
we're branching out.
They're branching out, right? And you're upsetting some people. Maybe a few doors closed and stuff like that.
Comes with the territory.
But I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah. August 1st. Yeah. Let's talk about the track August 1st.
August 1st is, Roach Killer and Master Salim.
What's it called?
One Love.
Okay. Give us a little breakdown of it. What are you going to expect?
It's like, so it's an old school style hip hop record. Like if it would be like a hip hop record that was produced in the early 2000s.
Got it.
And we took a vocal from Master Salim. And Roach Killer, obviously, he's had a massive success with that Awe record, which is a brilliant record. And this song it's just a cool hip hop record. Mm-hmm. If you're into like LL Cool J and all that stuff that I grew up with, this is what that is, right? Yeah.
What made you decide to switch it to an R&B? So you went from an old school Bhangra track, you went to a grime track.
Yeah.
Now you decide to do R&B. Why switch to an R&B?
And then hip hop and all that. Yeah. Well, that was the whole point. We on the last podcast we talked. Look, all the producers and music producers that are coming out, everything sounds the same.
Yeah.
That's probably because you guys are all bullshit. Like really, you guys are probably using these apps and drum loops and all these
packages,
pre-packages where everything sounds the same.
Yeah.
And you have no creativity. Well, bring it now because Uncle Sanj is coming. and I'm gonna do every type of genre, from dance music to R&B to reggaeton to Bhangra to this. I'm gonna do all of it, and I'm gonna leave you guys in the dust because you guys are just gonna keep doing the same thing. Why? Because you guys want to be popular.
Yeah.
Oh, this is working right now. Let's all do this. I'm like, go knock yourself out, man. Like I said, it doesn't matter because I'm gonna carve my own little corner out, and I'm just gonna play in my sandbox all by myself. And whoever wants to join me can join me. Yeah. And I'm having a blast doing it.
From what I always see is, it's such a carbon copy mentality that Punjabi culture is. If they see something that's popular, everyone's gonna jump on it, right? And I think it's been happening for so many years. It comes with cars, it comes with housing, it comes with clothes, it comes with music.
Well, it's always about one-upmanship, right? Oh, look, they got this house, we need a bigger house. They got that car, we need a better car.
Yeah.
Which sometimes that's good because it's upping your game.
Yeah.
But
it's motivating.
But you're not cohesive as a community.
Right. But I think the 1% look at it as a drive. I think the rest of them look at it as a little jealousy, competition. Not, hey man, congrats on this place. It's not like that. It's like, okay, how do I get better than this, right?
See, I always look. So when I was growing up, when I went to high school in Texas, I really was fascinated by how Gujarati Patels, like families, how they work. Like the second or third.
Specifically Gujarati Patels or just Patels in general?
Well, Patels in general, because the thing is, like, even their third cousin. Well, even if they didn't get along with them or they don't like them or whatever, but they all contributed into the pot for the community's benefit, the whole family's benefit, including the extended family's benefit, to buy a property or a motel or a hotel. And now that community owns like 90+% of like motels in the United States, right? In basically a generation. I found that amazing. Now, my own people, Punjabi, Sikh people, we're very known for being successful. We're a very visible minority around the world relative to our population, right? But it comes from one-upmanship. We're always about being, I got to do one better than my neighbor. I got to do one better. It's never really, and this is being frank and honest, but people can disagree if they want, but this is just the truth, right? Because I know the conversations that happen in everyone's house. And it's always about like, you know what? They got this car. Okay, well, we need a nicer car. Oh, they did this for their wedding. We need to do this for the wedding. Yeah. Oh, they got the fireworks for the wedding. Oh, we're gonna do this. We're gonna fly in this artist for the wedding. Like it's always about one-upmanship, and you are bettering yourself that way, but you're not building a cohesive community. Yeah. And so that's why I always had a lot of respect for because. When I was starting out DJing, I used to DJ for AHOA, Asian Hotel Owners Association, and so I would be.
That's a real thing.
Yeah, it's a real thing in the U.S. Right? So and I was just around that community and learning that. And I was like, I always loved that idea of it. And then in the Punjabi music industry, it was always about very competitive, right? Very like, and you can be competitive, but it's always basically like. It's always about one up. I want them to go down so I can go up, very like that, right? And so, well, I hope that changes, but like, that's just how we're raised as warriors and fighters, so that's part of it as well. Like, we're that breed of warriors. We're not passive by any means, especially if you look at the history of Punjab and all that. And so I think it's built into us. Like I might preach like us all like work together, but I'm very competitive as well. Like I'm always about like, I gotta
even if it's little things, you're very competitive.
Oh, hardcore, man. Like I can't help
really
it. I can't help it. I'm just like that, and I think it's in our DNA. So we are who we are.
Yeah. So let's talk about this hotel biz. Okay.
Yeah.
So we booked this hotel.
Yeah.
We're not going to name the hotel, but
it's a nice hotel.
Nice hotel. $5K a night. It's expensive, but you and me are there. We go on the rooftop. We're having lunch.
Yeah.
And we noticed a few things, right?
Yeah.
When we started talking, we kind of started looking around, and we started noticing. Oh, okay.
I noticed. There's two things I noticed.
Yeah.
Right. I saw a lot of ugly guys, and I saw a lot of old guys.
Yeah.
And I saw a lot of beautiful young women.
Yeah.
With the ugly guy or the old guy.
The old guy, yeah.
And so we're figuring, okay, well, is this like a Silicon Valley thing?
Yeah.
Right? But no.
Yeah.
It's, let me bring my mistress to the hotel
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
So I think we found.
So we went to a mistress hotel.
Yeah.
And we noticed that even more, right?
Yeah.
We go to the room. We had separate rooms. We're not again.
Yeah.
Separate rooms. We open the drawer.
Yeah.
There is
edible
panties.
Yeah.
That you could get. There is there's a box with ready to go, whatever you want, vibrator, all that jazz.
Yeah. And the thing is, I've been to a lot of hotels.
And the funniest part is, we both open the door and we're like, hey, did you open the drawer?
Yeah.
Right? And we both started laughing, right? And then later on that night,
we're hungry.
Yeah, later on that night, we went to the bar,
Yeah.
right, in the lobby, and you notice that everyone sitting on the lounge, and we're just looking around. It's the same thing.
It was just weird,
just old guys
with
younger people, and you're just like,
and I'm like, why did we book this place again? Like the reviews were great, very bougie, high end. We're like, oh, this is a great place to hang out for the holiday. And I've been to a lot of hotels, and I've never seen edible panties in the drawer.
Yeah,
that is a first for me.
Yeah.
I mean, when I say a lot of hotels, I mean we're like 70 to 100 hotels.
It was edible panties, a sex toy box,
and
then a Snickers bar just for the old guy to keep his sugar up, and then there was alcohol everywhere, obviously. But I mean, like, it's such a
so if you have a mistress and you want to go to a mistress hotel, DMS will let you know what the hotel is.
Yeah. We'll let you know that. Yeah. And then we. So far this week, we've done we've gone some meetings. We've, we talked.
Yeah.
And give me your thoughts on like the next step. There's the next step that obviously you just don't want to be doing music for all the time. This is I think this for you now. This is kind of a stepping stone, right? Like you wanted to get back into it. You're doing all these different tracks.
Yeah, so we got we're doing the music part, which is basically like I don't want to say I do it in my sleep, but because I've done it I've been around music since I was 14.
BC.
Yeah, we're going back like we're pretty much anyone listening to this podcast was probably like not born or a virgin. Right. And so that part's easy.
Yes.
Right, for me. Then there's like building the community, which I think is important. I want to build a community of people that we have similar interests, that like what we're trying to do, that want to be a part of it in some way. And I want to get into writing some books. And then we're thinking about it. We're not 100% yet, because I do think I'm a funny guy. And then we're tking about doing a whole stand-up comedy tour next year.
So we're going to the Comedy Store tonight.
Yeah, we're going to the Comedy Store tonight.
This is going to be a motivation for you.
Yeah. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to make
And you're going to see it? Well, with what? Yeah, you can't use your phone. You can't use anything. But mental.
Mental notes.
So you're going to go to the store, and then you're going to go what?
I can do this.
Okay.
I could do this.
Yeah.
Give me 5 shots of tequila, and I'm on stage
every night. So if we're doing a tour,
yeah,
you're gonna have 5 shots
of tequila. Yeah.
That's terrible, liver. Let's talk about our bet.
Okay, yeah,
the big bet.
Okay, so what I didn't realize before me and Nick started working together, which if I did know, we probably wouldn't be working together. But he's a Marvel guy, and I'm a DC guy. Yeah. Meaning, like, I'm into Batman, Superman, Green Lantern. That's
the problem right there.
That's my crew.
You just got Green Lantern, and you're going to go up to bat for Green Lantern. So
100%. Dude, Green Lantern's like one of my favorite characters. Man.
But the movie was terrible.
So it's one of my favorite characters growing up.
Okay.
And then you are a Marvel guy.
Yeah.
Right. And so Superman's coming out. Actually, by this time the podcast airs, it'll be out. Okay, so the bet is, I think Superman's going to crush it, and I think Fantastic Four is going to go thumbs down.
The problem with Superman, like we said, they're making him too vulnerable. And I think when you make a character like him that vulnerable, it's not going to go with a lot of people.
I think it's going to work because, one, it makes him more relatable, and second...
To who?
To everybody. Everyone's vulnerable.
To you?
Not to me, because I ain't a pussy, but still.
Well, there's one thing that... Okay, listen.
Yeah.
Sensitivity.
Yeah, I'm not very
I don't know how you relate to that.
Yeah, I'm not a very sensitive guy.
He has a dog. You don't like animals.
Yeah, I don't like pets. Yeah.
He's always on the ground beaten up. That's normal for you.
But saying that, it's a family film. Whereas, like, I love Man of Steel. Like, I'm a big Man of Steel fan.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And Henry Cavill as Superman was awesome.
Yeah. So you're cutting out Snyder. You're done with the Snyder.
I'm done with that. But I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? The problem with Man of Steel, which it wasn't a family film where the whole family would go watch it. It wasn't that kind of film. I didn't understand that till later. But like Superman's a family film. The whole family's gonna go. We're all gonna go watch get popcorn and make a whole event of it, right? And
you don't do that with any other movie?
Superman's been a long time since we've done it with the Superman film, right? And then the Fantastic Four just seems more of the same. Where I think Marvel it's just too leftist for me, and I'm just like, I just want a good film, fun film, man. You know, I don't want to be preached anything. I don't want to I just.
So how can you go into a movie like Superman and you're going, hey, you know what? I'm gonna give it a try with all the things that you don't like.
Because I get to watch it.
But Fantastic Four, you're not giving it a chance.
No, because I'm gonna go watch it.
Yeah.
But the bet. But the bet is, who's gonna do better opening weekend?
Right.
We're betting $100.
Right.
Right, for those people that want to know, $100 that I think Superman will have a bigger opening weekend than Fantastic Four.
Right.
And I know I'm going to win. You know what? By the time this podcast comes out, we will already have the Superman numbers.
When I win,
what's
going to happen is the next episode, you're going to see a month gap because Sanj is not going to be around. He's not going to message me. He's not going to talk. He's not going to record anything.
Well, I'll be in depression.
Because you're going to be
in depression.
Losing
the belt. Yeah, I hate losing.
As normal as it is.
That is probably like I'm a real poor loser.
Yeah,
I am.
I know that.
Yeah, I'm a poor loser. I hate losing.
Yeah, I know that. And but when it comes to movies, Sanj, what is about LA that is motivating you now? We decided to come here for a reason, for motivation.
Yeah, so we've had after the first podcast, we've had interest. People are curious about my life story, which I found like interesting because I know some of this. So when episode 1 came out, right, the people closest to me that know me for like decades, they were like, it was okay. I'm like, why? It was okay? Yeah, we already know all that shit. Yeah. Right. And then there's people that kind of like who've only known me maybe like 5 years, 6 years, and they were blown away and kind of upset. They're like, bro, you never told. Like, we didn't even know you were doing music.
Yeah.
You just said you're a property guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. They're like, we feel like we don't even know who you are anymore. Like, they're just like doing all this drama. Like, oh my God. Like, oh my, you went through all of that stuff and you don't even share that stuff. Like, oh my God, now everybody knows. Like, it's like, I'm like, dude, it's my story. Why are you having such a fit?
Yeah.
And so there are some people that are interested in more, like, I mean, like that was pretty much a very soft overview of some of this. Like, I got so many crazy stories. Reason being is people that watch that, there's some people like in the beginning, they go, oh, this guy's so full of shit. But the funny thing is,
I was one of them.
Yeah, but the people that know me, they go, no, that's just Sanj.
Yeah.
Like, I'm known for doing crazy shit all the time and being so stubborn. Like, my dad, so this is my dad. My dad goes, I can't call you stubborn. I can't call you stubborn. It's just not a good enough word for you. Mm-hmm. So he goes, give me 24 hours. I'm going to come with the proper word. He goes and starts researching, what's the one word I can use to describe my son? Comes back and he goes, I found it. So what is it? He goes, you're obstinate. So I look up the definition of obstinate, which you guys can look up as well. Oh, that's pretty good. So, yeah, I'm obstinate. I'm an obstinate human being. And so I purposely make things difficult for myself. I had one guy comment. He goes, when you were homeless in Mumbai, right, why didn't you go to the Gurdwara? Mm-hmm. And I thought about that. I was thinking, like, it never even occurred to me. Second, and this is with most people, right? I've never gone to the Gurdwara and asked for anything. Mm-hmm. The only time, and I'm not to be honest, fair, I'm not a Gurdwara guy. I don't go all the time. It's very rare I go, right? But every time I've went, I've gone and said, thank you. Mm-hmm. I've never asked for anything. I don't want anything from anybody. And that includes God, right? But I have no problem in saying thank you. Because I feel like the person I am and what I've gone through in my life, I got a lot of blessings. And I'm still here. I'm still kicking away. And I'm able to handle a lot that life has thrown at me. And so there's nothing wrong with saying thank you. And I don't understand people that they always asking for something. Always in their head. And they'll never admit it, but they're always asking, I want more money, or I want this, or I want that. You always want. You know what? Go to the good. Next time you want to go to a Gurdwara, temple, mandir, anywhere, just go and say thank you. And see how you feel doing that, instead of asking for something. And don't bullshit and lie about it with the rest of the people around you, saying, "Oh, I'm so this, I'm so that."
Yeah,
right. That's yeah. So in a nutshell, we got interesting things happening.
So nothing to do with us being in LA, but let's go back to the original question.
Yeah, I tend to go off on tangents.
I have no idea what that was about. But LA, let's
love it.
Motivational.
Love it.
We originally
I don't know if I could live here though.
Why is that? We've asked so many people and they've always said
no, I think it's a good place. You come in, you do your thing, and you head out.
But everyone that we talked to so far.
Yeah, but all those people are trying to make it. Like they're thinking this is a place where it's like it's possible.
But they love it though. They love what they're doing.
Yeah, but like
not one of them goes, I don't like the position I'm at. They never said that.
Listen, Hollywood is the city that sells you a dream.
Yeah.
That's it. It's selling you a dream, man. And it's like it's contagious. Like you come here, it starts to rub off on you.
It's the city of dreamers.
And that's why I like to leave. I need to go back to reality.
Reality.
Yeah, this is not a place of reality. There's no reality in LA.
Why is that?
Just the billboards, the way everyone is. Everyone's so hopeful, and it's like it's nice.
Yeah.
But then I like to go back to reality. Like coming to LA is like, the Matrix analogy.
Yeah.
It's the blue pill.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm always the guy that takes the red pill. So,
So when you go to the UK, what do you think is going to happen?
UK's
when we go, what do you think is going to happen? What's going to happen there?
I don't know. Let's find out. We'll find out. Like, look, I'll tell you, the best fans that I have are in the UK.
Yeah, well, that's why I brought up the UK.
Yeah,
when we go there,
they're awesome.
What do you think is going to happen?
I don't know. We'll find out.
I think you do know. To give me the answer. I think you do know.
Well, I don't know if they'll find.
You're going to be back to your.
Are they going to find me funny? I don't know if they'll find me.
You're going to be back to your old self. I think that's what's going to happen. You're going to go.
Well, I'm always my old self. I'm my new self and old. I don't change much. Like I'm still the same guy. Like I mean, I'm like, look, I'm the best thing with this podcast is you get to chronicle all these episodes, all these conversations.
Yeah.
And from episode 1 to now, the only thing that's going to change is my weight. That's pretty much it.
Up
or down. We'll see how it goes. Right at the moment, it's going up since we've been here.
It's going to fly.
But then it's been going down. So.
Yes, I Have an Opinion podcast. Its owners and associates take no responsibility for opinions or statements made by Sanj Singh, its co-hosts, callers, or their guests. Yes, I Have an Opinion podcast is meant for entertainment purposes only. It is not our intention to libel, discriminate, or annoy anyone. If you get annoyed, just tune into something else.